Bacon, no bacon, no bacon, no bacon,
Bacon, no bacon.
Podcast. All right, everybody. You won't believe it. Technical difficulties again that made us lose 45 minutes.
Is it 45? 32. We're all right. We're doing well,
Yeah,
man.
but we started talking about this at 11:30, so.
This is it's the new world, man. We're in the digital landscape of how everything takes forever to set up and connection, difficulties.
And
One day,
people are
man.
stealing from me.
People are stealing from you.
My little, I can't show it on screen because it's plugged into the camera, but the little Apple toggle thing,
Yeah.
that's what went missing. And Reese is like, I have one. You want to borrow it? I'm like, motherfucker, if this is mine. I gotta write my name on that shit.
Okay. The plug that goes into your Apple iPhone that you can plug a earpiece, like a headphones into. Okay. Yeah. What a pain in the ass. I'm sure because you all have the same phone, right? You all need it? Oh, yeah, the fucking thieves. Those children of yours.
Yeah, anyway, I'm fucking annoyed though, but
I don't know. Who knows, man? It's hard to...
Oh, shit.
What?
I just remembered where it is. Oh, no. I fucking basically told my son I wish I never had him.
Just because he lost a fucking dongle?
Because I fucking was sure he was lying to me about stealing it, but it was probably the nervous energy I was feeling. It was probably because I was punching shit and fucking throwing shit.
He's probably crying in his room right now. He's probably devastated. You
really
ruined
feel
his...
I should take a time out and go say I'm sorry.
You want to take a time out?
Yeah.
Let's take a time out for good parenting purposes.
I went all the way upstairs.
And he left.
The place that I was going to look is right here on my lap. Right beside my desk.
Oh, I thought you went to go apologize to him.
Well, I want to make sure it is where I think it is before I apologize.
You don't want to... Is it there? All right. Now you can apologize to him.
Apology to her.
Before you didn't want to take that chance in case it's still...
jumping the gun, no, yeah.
Yeah. You have to make sure before you apologize. All right, let him... You're going to go apologize?
Just so everyone's clear, I didn't hit anybody or anything. I was just fucking mad that I couldn't find my thing, and it's my fault, and I have to apologize. Sometimes it's good for kids to be afraid a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. You should almost let it simmer in for an hour, and then maybe talk to him after.
When I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Sit with his emotions. Yeah, go ahead. So. Yeah, you go ahead and you tell him... You tell him you're sorry for ruining his Friday.
Just to kind of prepare. This time I was wrong, but in general, you're all wrong. Go fuck yourself. That's kind of how the apology is going to go.
That's how it's going to go.
I read that.
Oh, man. I wish we could hear it. I wish he would have brought somehow could have brought all of his audio equipment with him. A wireless mic would have been perfect at this time. Man, if we were the Ellen Show... If we had the budget of the Ellen Show right now, we could have easily set that up. I don't know if there's cigarette is burning in an ashtray or did Derek start a small fire? Man, this guy's all over the place. That garage is a mess. You know, that craft dinner. What is that? Orville Redenbacher's? Jesus. Man, that can't be good for anyone's health. I think there's a small fire happening. Was he there?
I get up there
and he
to
left,
apologize.
and he called you a fuckface. What did he say?
He took my TV into his room. What the fuck?
From your bedroom?
Yeah.
So he said he didn't take your dongle.
But he took my television.
But he took your television.
No, I'm just kidding. He didn't do that. I was just trying to make that.
It actually would have been
extraordinarily long pause entertaining.
It actually would have been great if he did. If he was like, you know what, fuck Dad, I'm going to take his TV and show him what I really can take.
I'm taking it all.
You go up after an hour and the whole house is in his room.
I fucking punched the pantry and I really hurt my hand too.
Why would you get so violent and upset?
Dude, it's been a fucking crazy week and it's
frustrated. Eh?
I cope with big problems. I cope with them great.
Poor kids.
The little thing is always the thing that just catch me off guard and I fucking lose my mind.
Yeah,
and end up breaking a lot of my own shit.
You got to watch it, man.
Because I don't hit my children, so I have to hit something.
Take a breath, man. Just take a breath. Breathe. Breathe, man.
Now my daughters, I sent a very snarky fucking text to them. Who the fuck took my toggle from my iPhone? And they're both like, oh, I don't know. And now they're answering me and they're like, no.
You should let them hang
All right.
too. Maybe
I'm making
they'll-
myself out to be a scary kind of dad. I'm not scary.
No, you're
just,
you're all right. I give you 6 out of 10. You're a good dad. You get a passing grade in Quebec. You get 60%.
Jesus. Yesterday, actually, to bring up like a fucking less than model parenting moment. Well, it's not less than model, but just to see, because I got my bill for my life insurance yesterday,
Okay.
and
God.
I'm like, what the fuck, $1,000? I'm in my late 40s now, right? So
Are you
it's
paying
expensive.
to stay alive?
Yeah. that I wouldn't mind paying for if there was a way to just pay to extend your life despite all the poor life decisions.
That's
I'd
hilarious.
sign up for that in a minute.
Why was it
But
$1,000?
Because I'm getting old and I smoke. See,
You pay $1,000? What? Not a month? A year?
no, a year. Yeah,
Okay.
a year.
Jesus. It's a lot of money to stay alive.
But I was like telling the kids, I'm like, why the fuck would I pay this? This is for if I die. You guys should be paying for this. You know what I mean?
So what did they say?
Like before my dad died, I started paying for his life insurance.
Really?
And I only paid 1 month and then he died. It was like, I looked like a
Man.
real fucking hero, but
Man, the Sega household has got some stories, let me tell you. That's hilarious.
but yeah, and then like I'm telling them what it is, and I'm like, yeah, it's $200,000 of coverage and it costs $1,000 a month. And they're like, well, then my daughter, of course, smart ass, fucking doesn't want to, she just really doesn't want to give me any money. I don't know why. She doesn't work, she doesn't go to school, but she refuses to pay any, she can live her, anyway. She's like, well, does Nana pay for her life insurance? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know if Nana has life insurance. She's fucking in her late 70s. That would be like $20,000 a year,
Yeah.
you know?
And I mean,
And they're like,
she's
what? And I'm
yeah.
like, well, yeah, because there's no way she's not going to live another 100 years. You know what I mean? They can't.
Yeah.
Eventually, the insurance company want to make money, you know?
But I think but how does it work? Like, you have to keep paying, I guess, because you didn't pay is there a wall that you hit? Like after a certain amount of time, they go, okay, well, you paid it out, so you don't owe us,
No,
or you can keep paying?
There are policy like that. There's ones that you can convert to cash even. My dad had one like that.
Okay.
That he converted into cash. I don't even know if they used to do that in the olden days back when.
Sounds like a chip reverse mortgage.
Yeah, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you can still do that. I forget what they're called. My dad had one though. I know he cashed it out.
Okay.
But no, now they price you out. Eventually they price you out. Like, so at 48, it's costing me $1,000 a year for 200,000 in coverage. So if you think about it, in 50 year, that would pay off. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So like, how does it work? Like if you want to stop paying it, like, do you lose, or do they go,
Yeah,
okay,
you
well,
got zero coverage. That's it. So at 48,
so
it
all
costs
that
me
money that
$1,000 a year.
yeah.
Huh?
All that money that you've donated this whole time or kept putting into it, it just disappears?
Well, people that live to old age, that's generally what happens. Yeah, because when you get to a certain age, life insurance. So right now at 48, it costs me $1,000 to be covered for 200,000 payback to the kids.
So what if you live
I
to
was
like
78,
85? Yeah, what happens then?
If I was 78, it would cost me probably $20,000 a year.
So then,
Because
so you're
my
not
death
going to
is
do
imminent.
it. So you'll definitely just say, I'm not going to pay it. That's too expensive, and then you
Right.
lose all that money that you've already put in.
Yeah.
Well, now that doesn't sound like a great deal.
Well, no, but it's in insurance. It's in case something happened. Like if I was to die today, my kids would be fucked. So this $200,000 would buy them a year or two of trying to figure out how to be responsible.
Right.
For themselves.
Okay. You're just
when
gonna
I'm in
do it
my
until,
70s, the kids will be in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah, you don't need it.
If they haven't figured it out by then, well, tabarnak, it's not my problem anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that still seems crazy, man.
So
What if you
on
would've
that
just
logic,
put
though,
that?
there must still be the kind of insurance that you're talking about, where it's like a bonded thing where you can cash some of it out.
You know what's crazy is because like 200,000 is probably a set. Like, you know, you probably went with that number because that's the pricing of like houses and stuff and all that. Like, it costs a lot now.
Are you you're an ACTRA, right?
Yeah.
So it's with them. So in the ACTRA fraternal benefit thing. So if you're at the bronze level,
Yeah. Well, I have the
You have-
RSPs.
do you have medical with them too?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So you have a $50,000 life insurance policy built into your benefit package.
Oh, nice.
So I just added, built in. You have to check it off. You would have to select it because
Right.
there is but I think that
yeah.
at your age probably costs, $80 a year.
Okay.
Plus, so like, at the end of the year, they tell you how much you've paid for ACTRA, or if you didn't work enough, that you have a balance to pay.
Right,
so you have to pay $180 to top yourself up.
Yeah.
Part of that is a life insurance if you check that off, if you chose it,
Okay.
which you should. For $50,000, it's like I said, it costs you like $60-$70 a year at your age. And that way, Carolyn, if something happens, you have $50,000 to kind of figure shit out.
Yeah. To fucking
But I opted for
Go
an
on
extra
vacation.
150,000 because 50,000 split three ways isn't very good. Anyway, so I opted for another 150,000, and it cost, when I signed up for it, it was $540. So when I was your age, because I've had it for about 10 years, when I was your age, it cost $540 a year. Now in my 40s, it cost $1,072.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of money when you add it up. Like, I wonder, like, would it have just been more profitable to, like, do something with that money? Like, just put that money in a bank account throughout this whole time?
Exactly. If I would have put, say
Or, like,
it's been
buy
10
a piece
years,
of land or something that it just sits there.
yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to do right now, even though, like, I've been so stressed lately. I think my daughter and my girlfriend, Jamie and Angela, both said, we think you're in a midlife crisis. Things are you're really all over the place these days.
Well, I think...
And I'm like, midlife? Fuck, would I ever love to live to 96? That would be great.
It's an end-of-life crisis right now.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. You'll be around
So anyway,
for another
getting back
7
to what I
years.
was saying, what brought all this up was that I told the kids, I'm like, you guys should be paying the fucking life insurance. If it's due March 1st, if I don't have it, I'm canceling it. And they're like, well, why would we pay for that? Does Nana pay for her? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you guys are just being dicks about it. I was hoping they would say, okay, Dad, yeah, for sure. Don't talk about dying. It doesn't. No, they're both like, fuck that. I'm not paying it. And I'm like,
yeah.
And so Jamie, taking the high road, it was kind of a sociological test I was doing with the kids. Jamie's like, it's not right that you would ask a 15-year-old kid to pay that. I'm like, you're right. You should probably step up and pay her part too. And then she's like trying to take the high road with me. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You should pay it. And then she's like, well, then I get to keep her part too. I'm like, you're questioning my morality. You're trying to steal the money from your 15-year-old sister, you bitch.
That's hilarious. Well, I think she's
Anyway,
just looking. She's trying to
They're not
protect
gonna
her
pay it.
investment, is what she's doing. She's not trying to steal it. She's trying to protect her investment.
Right. I gotta rethink my will actually, because Jamie, she just turned 21. In my will, I had it that my mother was the executor of my will until Jamie turned 21, and then Jamie would be the executor of my will, basically. So she decided manage my estate for her brother and sister. But now I realize she is a self-serving little shithead.
That's hilarious.
Think that
She's just
maybe
gonna
put Reese there.
Well, why wouldn't you just split it between the three of them?
It is, but like if I was to die today, Andy is too young, so Jamie would manage the whole thing.
What's the age like? Is it 18 or 16?
None of them can get the cash until I'm 25.
Until they're 25.
Until they're 25.
Yeah.
Sorry, until they're 25.
Yeah.
right? So Jamie would manage what they do get. Like they'd only get the lump sum and do with it what they want at 25. Jamie would be the one to decide what they get now. But I realized she'd probably be like, yeah, hey, you know what? You probably need $100,000 and let's just take that out and give it to me though. I'll take care of it. And then she'll fucking...
Great age to be at. I wish I could go back at that age and just the stuff I know now and like the things that...
Oh, man. Well,
You
plus
know?
with the actual
Kids should
facts of
invest.
things. You were smart. You bought land.
Yeah,
in your 20s. That's
I
smart.
kind of don't give myself enough credit for some of the roads I did set up, but I like now that I know more, I probably would have done more and just. I mean, I'm still young, but it's not like like it's when you get older, you see these things. You start to like,
Yeah.
oh man, you know what? Maybe I should have gotten a little extra. Maybe I should have done more. Maybe I shouldn't have. But again, whatever. You live life. You have a good time. You enjoy yourself. You do things. But yeah, land
right
is
now
a
I'm
great
like-
thing, man. Land is
I
great.
forget who it was that sent that email. I know you saw the email, the one that person that said the Panderic retreat or whatever. This would be the perfect.
Right, we did get an email.
'Cause I
Yeah,
was talking about getting a cottage. It was perfect. Everything about
Derek
it was fucking perfect.
and Emily, I think.
Emily.
Derek and Emily. It's a joint account. I think that's what it said.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you for
Derek
that,
sent
'cause-
Derek or Emily, one of them. I don't remember who signed it. Sent us Derek a cottage in the woods that was for sale, and actually on the way up to where I go fishing to my fishing camp. So it would have been like a great.
Oh,
pit
are you
stop.
that way? You're up north.
Up north? Yeah,
Northwest. Yeah.
north, like north, La Touque.
Okay, like not Quebec City way, but
No, north. Yeah,
Yeah.
north. Yeah, past Tremblant. Yeah, it's a fun.
past Tremblant. That's it. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes from here, and I checked it. I loved it so much. I keep checking it, showing the kid. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly because it was 100 acres.
Yeah.
100 acres, 50 acres. It was 50 acres, and a lake. Although even the beach of the lake wasn't clear, it's like there was marshiness to get to the lake. But whatever, I could deal with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was perfect. It was perfect. It had a separate building. It was perfect. Whoever, Derek and Emily, thank you so much. It's perfect.
It's
and
far,
the price
but
too.
it's nice.
The price too was in the area.
I don't know
where
what's up
I was
there.
thinking.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a lot of like maybe biker dudes or something like because there's like if you look up that way, there's some really, really nice like houses, cottages, but houses almost like in the woods.
Yeah.
There's really like that one was really nice. Like if you're
Yeah.
thinking you live out there all the way out that way, like what are you doing? Unless I guess you work in forestry or something.
I think I'd probably want a rifle too. I'd probably want to get a.
Oh, buddy, go get your hunting license.
Wait, can you do that?
Yeah,
How
why
about
not?
with a felony record? Can you get it? Can you have a?
I don't know if you're allowed with a. Yeah, well,
think it's
wait, you're not a
violent crime, right?
convicted.
You'd have to have
yeah,
a-
you're not like a. You didn't go to jail, did you? I don't know how it works. I don't know what the. I don't think. I feel like if you're a free man, you're okay, and you don't have any violent criminal past.
Yeah,
or
no
anything like
violent
that.
crime, right?
Yeah, they
yeah.
do it. Well, they'll do a background check. So they'll. If you're allowed to go to the States, and I don't think there's a problem with you having a hunting rifle.
Okay, good.
Like I feel like that would be more like kind of the limit of like if there was like for whatever reason the border was like you're not allowed, then I'd be like, yeah, they probably won't give you a license.
Right.
But I think you can go for go get your hunting license and your rifle license.
Yeah,
It's-
living in
I
the
mean-
bush like that, I think I'd want to have a.
Oh, for sure.
Like you
yeah.
said, not so much for the wildlife, but I know my buddy had a cottage in Rawdon before Rawdon got bigger.
Yeah.
And yeah, the bikers were using the land around there to grow weed.
Yeah.
Before this, like right as hydroponic was the indoor growing was
Right.
becoming thing, you would still growing outside is still way cheaper, right? You
Right,
go
yeah.
outside, go check on it twice a year, and and you have a récolte. But yeah, like those guys walking around your land all the time, it'd be like they
Yeah,
decide
I'd be
they
a
want to
little-
come stay the night. Fuck you! I need a rifle to beat them over the head with. 'Cause
I don't
I'd
think
never
it's
able
going to
to
be
shoot
that.
anybody.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that wild out there. I'd be more worried about just having it for the sake of having it. You get a whatever.
Yeah,
in
just
case,
to have over the door, just to have over the door. Would be
Right.
like fucking look. I'm
mostly
a character
for
on Yellowstone.
noise. In case someone, but we're not in. I don't know. I wonder what it's like. I mean, I know people are. When you're in the bush, people are more. It's a little bit riskier because you don't. There's no one around.
Yeah.
There's no cops. There's no nothing. So you're on
Yeah.
your own.
run to the neighbors and be like, my daughter's choking.
I think that's why like a lot of Canadians are pretty upset with the gun laws. I think like the ones that are like lawful gun owners, because yeah, it is annoying that you can't, like they keep making it stricter and stricter for the like legal gun owners, but like illegal gun crime and stuff like that is not going down. It's only going up. And it's like, that's what you need to change. It's like maybe fix something up with maybe if you get caught with an illegal gun, maybe you should do some fucking hard time. Maybe that should be a thing that they should.
Yeah. Is it not already a major?
It's Canada, man. You get away with so much shit. Like there was a thing the other day. I think like you always see those articles of like a violent criminal gets let loose after 2 years, and you're like, what? That's it? He did 2 years and he's out? Huh. Like, you know, they let people just. I mean, the whole thing with like Carla Homolka. That was a huge one. She got out. She was living in town. Dude, she was living in Chateauguay. It was all over the news. Yeah. She was bringing her kids to school.
She tried to join the PTA or something.
Yeah, she tries to get in the school, like to help out with the school board and stuff. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you changed, but that's crazy.
Certain mistakes you should have to live with for the rest of your life.
Well, at least you shouldn't be allowed to freely join a fucking school program. You know, like you could go back to living your life maybe somewhere further out where we don't have to see you and you don't freak the shit out of everybody because you're a murderer. And then, you know, just leave everyone alone because I think everyone's freaked out about you. Nobody wants to like see their kid. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't have a kid, but I'm like, if I fucking Carla Homolka had her kid at my school, I don't know, man. It's pretty sketchy.
Yeah, weird.
I mean, again, yeah, maybe she changed, but fuck, it wasn't a small crime.
No, I know.
It wasn't a guy getting caught with an illegal weapon.
Yeah,
you know?
Dark.
But, yeah, the gun law's in. But you should go get your rifle. Then we can go hit up the shooting range sometime, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
There's a good one, I think, up in Terrebonne or something. I haven't gone yet, but I want to go with someone.
And you could shoot rifles there?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap too. Yeah. It's an outdoor one. And then there's another one I think in Huntington or Hemmingford I've been to. It's like a shooting club. That's a fancy one. That's a nice one.
I don't like guns at all, but it's something about living in the bush makes me feel like I should have something.
I'm not a fan of it if you're not using it for anything other than like, you're living in the bush, or you're going out to the bush. I mean,
even hunting, I'm not into hunting. I'm a carnivore. I eat meat and everything. I don't know, something about the desire to go out and kill something, even if it's to eat it. It's just not for me. I don't judge other people. I just, I'm traumatized. I think when I was like 15 or 14 or something, my buddy was a big hunter. So he and his father, they would hunt bow and arrow.
Okay.
But they had all the rifles. The bow and arrow was the thing of that summer or whatever.
Yeah.
But they had all the rifles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he had pellet guns and all that, and his bow and arrow. So it was like late fall. So say November, the golf course was closed, and he lived right beside the golf course. So we went out there, him with his bow and arrow, and he gave me and Chad pellet guns. And I remember he was waiting for a gopher to come out of his hole, and I was just bored with the pellet gun, and there was like a bird on the grass, you know, whatever, you know, picking at worm or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a blue jay. I remember it was a blue jay.
Aww.
And I'm like, oh, that's why I could see it probably so well from where I was. I was far. I was like 100 yards away.
Yeah.
And I was just like playing, like I thought I would shoot and scare it away or whatever. Fuck, didn't I hit it from 100 yards away with a pellet gun?
Really?
And so it didn't kill it. It was just suffering. And I'm like, oh my God. What the fucking poor thing. And my friend Mark, the hunter, just walked up and fuck, shut up. And he just stuck the arrow right through the fucking thing's face. I'm like, oh my God, what have I done?
Well, he put it out of its misery, but don't fucking do that. That's a crime right there, buddy.
Yeah,
but you were a kid. Yeah, right. you were a kid.
Revoked. I'm revoked.
Those are child. No, there's a lot. I mean, I don't like that. That's the things I don't like is when people, especially like people who just shoot for the sake of shooting. And I would love. I mean, I'm not one to talk too much about hunting because I've never gone hunting yet, but I have. I like fishing mostly more, but I would love to try and go. That's why. But no one does it anymore. Like our generation. Like I have no friends that have any interest, and I'm like, guys, does anyone want to go? Nobody has any interest in unless you live in the woods or you're like, you're a small town people love it. but it's hard to find like
And
friends in
to
the
them,
city.
it's a way of life. They've been doing it since they were 2,
Yeah.
and their dad did it since he was 2. And
It's super
just
interesting. Like if you're really, if you're interested in stuff like that, like Meat Eater. You ever see the show Meat Eater on Netflix? It's on Netflix. It's a great show, and the guy really teaches you. The host really teaches you it's good because not every episode does he catch something. Most hunting shows, it's like they always catch. And that's not the case. So at least this show, I like that he'll take you out. And sometimes he comes so close and he misses, or he just didn't have the right shot, so he didn't take it. So he teaches you like pretty good etiquette, which is something I like. So people don't, I think the biggest thing with like a lot of hunters, there's a lot of hotheads in that like field, like that, like hunting as well. So that's where it gets a bad rap, I think.
Yeah, and then there's the really
there's a
bad
lot
ones
of
that shoot
people-
lions and tigers and
Yeah.
Did you hear about those people, the rich people that were hiring helicopters and going up in the helicopter with automatic rifles?
Yeah, I believe
and
it.
hunting
If that's-
caribou like that, like with an Uzi.
God. No, that's not nice.
Yeah, they went to jail though. It was good.
There's a
The
lot of
helicopter guy lost his
Yeah.
license and his.
There's a lot of poaching that happens. I've been hearing that. I think over the years too. There's a lot of caribou poaching that happens. Again, because it's mostly in remote areas, and then they load up the trucks. I remember a few years ago they stopped a truck and found it like filled with carcasses
Jesus.
of like all the meat. They just cut it up and then they leave everything there. They leave all the guts. I remember seeing it. Yeah, you're right. They probably do that. They probably just fucking wipe them out. Because a friend of mine up north posted a picture, and it was like 4 or 5 caribou just next to each other, all gutted, and they just took the meat. So they definitely poach, and then they bring it down. I guess they sell it to restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else bothered me about the guns in general? Like on TV, I don't know how often this happened in real life, but like when they just shoot up in the air, it's always bothered me.
Yeah.
Just shoot straight, especially in the city. When you're out in the bush, okay, fine. Say on Yellowstone, that show I've been watching.
Yeah.
When you're in the city and you shoot up in the air, like machine guns sometimes, like
Yeah, I've seen those.
it's gonna come down sometime.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the chances it'll hit someone, I guess, is not that high, but it's very dangerous. It's stupid. It's reckless. That's the thing. That's what gives it a bad rap. That's what gives guns a bad rap.
That
People that are
combined
reckless.
with the story when I was a kid that they used to say if you dropped a penny off the CN Tower,
Right, it would kill
would
you.
go straight
Kill
through
someone, yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're doing the machine. You're shooting like fucking 100 pennies in the air. Like it's gonna come down. It's gonna go right through somebody. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
I
out
don't
there
get what
mowing
people
your
do that.
lawn, let's see, and you're fucking.
That's what happens. Just a farmer in the field just gets fucking sniped out from a bullet.
Well, yeah,
that came
in the
from
field though,
the
there's
sky.
much less chance. But when you're in the city, like if you go into Tokyo, see, and you go in the
Who's
air.
firing rifles like that in Tokyo?
On TV all the time, the fucking Yakuza or whatever, the Yakuza? No, that's not the jacuzzi. What is that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, the Hakuza, the Japanese mafia.
Okay, no, I don't know. There's a Japanese. I imagine there's a Japanese mafia. I didn't know. I have no. Is there a movie on them? I should watch the Japanese mafia.
No, I'm close. It's not the Yakuza. That sounds a little bit too
What
much like jacuzzi, but Hakuza,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
The Hakuza is like
The
the
Japanese
Japanese word
mafia.
for mafia, I think.
No, yeah, it's definitely sketchy. You got to be careful, man. I think that's the thing. It hurts when you go up north because, like, I like the woods. I like that stuff, and I do get why. You need a rifle, and you need, but people take advantage of it. Like they make a mess up north sometimes, man. Like, dude, sometimes you're driving on like a road that's completely deserted, but you just see cans on the side of the road, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, man. Like you couldn't keep your goddamn cans. You got to throw them on the side of the road, make a mess in the middle of nowhere where it's like pristine and beautiful, and just dirty the place. Yeah. And then there's the other side of like people who like live in the city and like complain about, oh my God, they're building houses everywhere and they're doing stuff. Everyone's complaining. I feel like you can't complain about low. I hate
Progress?
that no, like the fact that like, especially if you have kids and you're like, the environment, it's getting ruined. It's like, yeah, but you're making more people. It's of course where do you want those kids to live? The kids have to move out.
Stop having garbage factories, you asshole.
Yeah, quit having these garbage fucking factories. But I don't get why people complain about like, in the city, it's inevitable that like everything's getting knocked down and stuff. Like even here, man, I mean, they're building houses everywhere. They take old houses down, and the old houses were small, right? So there'd be a lot of trees on the property. And now they're just tearing down small houses. You know, people are swooping in, buying up all these small houses, tearing them down, building mansions on them. Yeah. And there's no room left to put a tree. You know, you put one or two
right
trees
across the street.
Yeah, they tore it all down. Yeah, and they just built a mansion, and there used to be like 20 trees on that one property, and now the city mandated them they have to plant 2.
Huh.
So it's like you're killing. That's where I don't like it, because if you want to spread out or whatever, at least you can have more smaller housing, more trees, less pollution, right? But we go for like bigger houses, less trees, and then that just is a recipe for more pollution. And then we're trying to save the planet. But everybody's buying like fast food, garbage built houses that are just like, they look modern. Yeah. And for some reason,
is built at a Big Mac's for sure. Your
house is built good.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't think so? Your house is built good. Yours is an older house. Yeah, no, I'm talking about these new houses where they just like, dude, they just put them up, and like you look at the interior, for some reason it always looks like, I don't know, a porn star's decorating these things. Like, what is it with these houses now? Like you watch like the news, and everyone on like living in the big cities or whatever, they do like a Skype in from their condo, and you're like, who's decorating your? I don't know if you saw my Instagram. There was a lady on CTV Morning, whatever it's called, a morning show, and she was given us she was given tips on makeup or whatever, and her mantle behind her, maybe I'll try and post a picture. The mantle behind her had a decor, was like 2 triangle cones, and then on the other side was like a shaft with 2 balls at the bottom. It totally looked like a dick, and I'm like, how is this on television? Nobody's like cutting that out. And why is that even on your mantle? Like, why is that a thing on your mantle?
A guy sent me, I forget what it was on. It was on Instagram, I think. No, Facebook. It must have been Facebook. Sent me a thing. I'm going to try to find it and show you on screen. But although I can't share my screen. Yeah, that's it. Showed me this thing. It's, yes, how do I do this? It's part of the Range Rover or Land Rover Defender owner manual.
I can't see it. Okay.
Where it's telling you how to adjust the
your alignment. What is that?
No, the trailer hitch.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you could see.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's like fucking jerk it. So to adjust the trailer hitch, you got to jerk it and cup the balls.
Just get it.
It's very important that you cup the balls before you
connect
before you connect the trailer hitch. I just fucked up my whole setup here.
That's hilarious. I don't recommend cupping any balls while you're connecting the trailer hitch. You might squeeze your finger. But yeah, you do have the Range Rover. So what's the new with the latest with the Range Rover, buddy? What's going on?
So I changed the alternator.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that alternator was a dud, and I lost all power. I went to do the COVID test that I had to do for the bathers.
Yeah.
On the Champlain Bridge. 0 power, no signal light, no radio, no fucking nothing. The engine didn't die, but it wasn't, because everything is electronic in there, right? So even the gearbox even had no power. So it was like put, and it died totally about 1 kilometer from the garage.
Oof.
But I just changed the battery, if you remember. I changed the battery about a month ago, so it was a brand new battery, luckily. So when it died, it recharged itself a little bit, that it was able to run the starter, and I got it. Then I putted to the garage, and so he was gonna get about I bought the alternator used because it was a fifth of the price.
Yeah.
So we got another alternator, but while I brought it in to bring the alternator, it's like, oh, your fucking bushings on the back suspension, they're finished, so I changed those for you. So anyway, it cost me $700 again. I'm kind of tired of it. It's really like.
Yeah, dude.
I don't drive it. Every time I drive it, it costs me $1,000. That's I could rent a car. It would be much cheaper than that. You know what I mean? A brand new car.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
So I'm a
fucking
little
shit
bit,
deal.
I'm a little bit over it. But now everything's new on it, so I don't, I don't want to.
No, not everything is new. There's a lot
right.
of things left to break on that, man. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to talk too badly about it. It might be one of our listeners that buys it when I put it on Gigi.
Well, it depends
it's
on-
such a great. It's a joy.
Depends what you want and what you're into. Like, I personally am not
We've
one.
established that I'm in a midlife crisis, so I I
Well-
want this kind of car.
You might get somebody else who's in a midlife crisis that wants to buy it off of you. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I guess, I don't know, man. I can't see myself ever buying anything that if I look at a price tag of like a shock and it's $2,000 and I still have to change it myself. No, no, that's not happening. That's crazy.
It was only $1,500. If you change it yourself, you save $500.
$1,500 and you still change it yourself. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can buy. You probably have like a Toyota Highlander, and you can buy all 4 shocks for $1,500.
Oh, and there was a sensor too that he changed. That I did ask him to do the sensor, and the sensor was $218 just for the little relay thing. And I was like, tabarnak, it's a piece this big.
Yeah.
Are you serious? And he's like, what fuck? Toyota is even more expensive. I'm like, what? Really?
Yeah, but Toyota's not gonna break. Like, it's gonna last a long time.
That same sensor on my current my Camry. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the one right after the catalytic converter.
The O2 sensor. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fucked forever, but
Yeah.
it's fine. It runs. Like having a check engine light on in my 2003 Toyota Camry isn't as irritating as having a fucking check
Every
engine light
single
permanently on.
Yeah. And then all these
And
other lights are
because-
going to start flashing at the same time because it's getting
And
a
on
weird
the Range
reading.
Rover, you can feel the effect that it's having. The fact.
Yeah.
So the warning was oxygen fuel oxygen mixture imbalance or something like that. The sensor
Yeah.
controls that, how much oxygen it puts in the
Yeah.
I know it's not a carburetor, but whatever. Mixing the oxygen was off, and it did affect the performance.
Yeah.
On my 2003 Camry that I put regular unleaded fuel in, that's I didn't feel the difference in performance. So it's been on for like 8 years. That
Yeah.
my catalytic converter would need to be changed, and that the relay would need to be changed. Where they put it in the Toyota. So not only is the relay more expensive in Toyota than Range Rover, but where to do it, you have to fucking take apart the engine because it's behind the catalytic converter.
Really?
So yeah, so it's like $1,000 job to get my check engine light to go off on the 2003 Camry. I'm like, I can live with that. Sometimes I need to have a little
I
bit of
don't know,
ambient
man.
light in the car.
I don't know.
But on
man.
my
That's
Range Rover,
crazy, yeah.
I don't want to say I've put so much money in this thing. I don't want a check engine light on ever. So anyway,
Yeah.
I paid it. It was $200. He did it while he was doing the other things and changing the alternator. So
Yeah.
that's why we got to $700.
That's crazy, man. Crazy, buddy. Crazy. Spending that fucking cash on that
to
Range
change
Rover.
the subject, I know we're changing the. I'm
What's up?
often all over the place, but I don't usually watch the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
But I find myself very intrigued by Elon Musk these days, and this week's guest on Joe Rogan Experience was Elon Musk.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't catch the episode, but I did
Dude,
see.
it's so. That guy is so smart. I've listened to Bill Gates speak
Yeah.
for long. I've
but it's
watched
scary.
Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was very. Stephen Hawking. Elon Musk reminded me of Stephen Hawking in that Stephen Hawking, when he would talk, he would realize that he's talking to people that aren't quite, first of all, as knowledgeable. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
master physicist, right? There's nobody possibly in the history of humanity that has grasped and learned as much about physics as Stephen Hawking did. But I found when he talked, he would dumb it down for people a little bit sometimes,
Right.
Stephen Hawking, he would be like, so this theory that we're talking about, it's like, so that we can kind of relate.
Right.
Elon Musk is a master at it, and you could see him, put it this way, just watching him, after 2 hours, I was tired. I needed to take a nap after watching him talk to Joe Rogan for 2 hours. I'm just like, tabarnak, this guy is so knowledgeable about so many things. You know?
Yeah.
And then there's things that he doesn't know about, and he's just like, well, I don't, like it's like the aliens. They started talking about aliens, and he's like, I looked into it. briefly, and I saw enough to know that there's no fucking proof. There's no proof of aliens,
Right.
you know, like, you know. So he moved on. So Joe Rogan, well, did you see this? Did you see that? He's like, no, I don't look at any of it because it's
Yeah,
a
sounds
waste of my
reasonable.
time. My time is worth something. You know what I mean?
Sounds reasonable.
But then when he would talk about things that he does know about, I'm like, what the fuck? How do you know all these things? Because he's my age. He's 1 year older than I am.
Yeah. But
And
he's
like more knowledgeable about geology than most geologists.
Yeah.
Probably most geology professor. Physics, oublie ça. See, the guy is a fucking chemistry. The guy is a fucking master. Say auto design. They gave him an honorary doctorate in auto design from some place because he designed the first roadster for Tesla based on the Lotus. I think he bought Lotus just so that
No,
they could
that's
use
not.
it.
I watched a thing. I'll send you the link. He didn't even found Tesla. It was two guys that founded Tesla. Two engineers, and then they later pitched Tesla to Elon Musk after he
Got
was
rid
doing
of PayPal.
Yeah, and he was already doing SpaceX. So when he got rid of PayPal, he went over. He started SpaceX. That was his first thing. And he was like trying to buy rockets. I looked it up after because they mentioned that he was trying to buy rockets from Russia. And he did. He ended up buying. I read about that too. He went to Russia and bought rockets and all that stuff from the military and all that shit. So he's into some like shady things to acquire the stuff that he needs to do to get done. I mean, he's not a person that like cares about regulation or laws. He just wants to do what he wants to do. So he'll go after it.
Yeah.
And these
The way
two
to hear him
guys,
talk, he's like,
but it sounds like he's a little like, I'll send you the link. These two guys, I think it was NBC, MSNBC did like a thing. I think it was that they did a interview. It's on YouTube with these two guys who are the original. They're the original founders of Tesla. And the guy
they don't
wanted
work there anymore?
No, they sold they still have their shares, but he became the Elon became CEO, and I think one of them got pushed out and the other one kind of left afterwards or whatever. They're still they still have a ton of shares, but they're no longer like part of the company.
Involved.
Yeah.
Right.
But they started it because one of the guys, what did they sell? Oh, they both invented, I think, the first Kindle, like the e-book. They invented that. And then the guy wanted to use, when he got paid out for it, he wanted to have like a sports car, an electric sports car, and nobody made a nice electric sports car. And it was pretty interesting to hear him. They both sought out companies that were making electric cars, and they talked to a few. They were going to buy one. They ended up buying a company, and they turned that company into Tesla. They went to Lotus. They did all that. That was them. But Elon Musk talks about it like he's the founder.
Lotus Designs.
Yeah.
But anyway, you
yeah.
say, he does seem a little bit. Just to hear him talk, he sounds a little bit like evil genius. But like most there's such a grandeur to some evil geniuses. Like, yes, we're gonna have to kill people, and
I don't like his evil genius though. I understand what you're saying though.
But often in the movies, the evil genius seems to lose sight of what he's after. Like they always say, like to really make it simple, Thanos in Avengers.
Okay.
In his mind, all this killing is to make the future better, right? Because clearly all of life in the universe is not cherishing life and cherishing the resources, whatever. So we'll kill everybody, and we'll start anew with a more purist, moral. But dude, you're gonna kill trillions of beings to say, like, that's not to kill innocence for the future of other innocence it's illogical. So most evil genius in the cinema or whatever, they seem to lose sight of what it is they're supposed to be doing in the first place, which is making things better. Where Elon Musk, I don't feel has done that, but he definitely feel like the smartest guy in the room. Like if you walk into a Senate committee hearing, he definitely looks around the room and like, you guys are total fucking idiots.
But I think that's arrogance more than anything.
No, I think it's I think it's justified arrogance. He does know more than them.
I don't know if he knows more. It was even like, remember when there was those Chilean miners or whatever that were stuck and he got in the hot water because like everyone that was working on it to get them out was like, shut the fuck up. Because he was like, well, we're going to come in there and build some machine that can just go into the tunnel. And And again, it turned out to just be, so what he does is he's good at like publicity for himself. Even I read a thing last week about his Bitcoin purchase. Apparently his Bitcoin purchase, he bought 1.5, what is it, billion?
Billion, yeah.
Bitcoin, because who is it? Another rich person, not like a Warren Buffett, but one of those like really wealthy people that knows the ins and outs of this kind of world, said he basically just did it as a distraction from the media because China was putting like he was something was going on with him and Tesla, and China was like questioning Tesla's integrity and all that stuff. So there was like a big news story in China about Tesla. So in order to keep that out of the eyes of North America or the rest of the world, he just bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin so that the news story just goes, Elon Musk invested $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. Then everybody starts talking about Bitcoin and totally forgets that Tesla is actually in some hot water in China. That's all it is. Which I get it. It's like, you got to do these things. That's why he is where he is. He's a mastermind at manipulation in a way of like, and all good CEOs are. I mean, that's what your job is. Your job is to like not make the company look bad in any way, try to keep it positive, try to keep the narrative to whatever you want it, and that's it. So I used to think he was like a brilliant person too. I mean, he's definitely smart. He's not a moron. He's a brilliant person. But I think he uses, I did a joke on this. I have a joke in my album. I think it's on it about Elon Musk. Basically, when you're in LA, like everything is fucking regulated, dude. Your registration, I got to pass emission tests. You pay this extra fee for recycling and all this extra shit you're paying all the time to help the planet. And then Elon Musk is literally 20 kilometers away firing a rocket every week into space filled with satellites, so he can pump it. And you're like, well, what the fuck is this? Why am I?
Some of them are filled with nothing because they assume like they're testing these rockets.
They're just testing.
So they assume that the rocket's going to explode, so they don't want to put an expensive satellite in it.
And dude, and they're launching them right over, they launch right over downtown LA. And you're like, why are we all, and LA is completely polluted. The air is the worst air quality of, I think, in all of the US. It's terrible. It's so bad for you. 111 days, I think it was, in like 2019 were unhealthy to breathe for human consumption, the air quality in LA. And this guy's just firing rockets every week. So it's like, I get he is a very smart person, but yeah, I don't give him
There's
that
a
much.
cost for progress. He discussed a little bit of that. He discussed literally government regulation, like AI, for instance. Should there be a governing body that controls how advanced
scares me,
AI can get?
I think he scares me is what it is, because nobody's really regulating him, and he has so much money in the world that he can do what he wants. Like he opened when California was shut down. They weren't supposed to open for COVID reasons right at the start. He just opened his factory, and he was like, "Good, stop me." But you can't stop a guy they're richer than the United States of America. That one person has more money than the entire country. So like don't you question that at a certain point and go, wait a second. So basically this guy can run our country. He can just take it over if he wants or do. It's weird, right? That we have people that we're people that rich. Like when did this start? That like there's that many people that are richer than countries? Yeah. Remember we're like 10 years ago, we're like, man, I wish I could get $1 million.
Yeah.
Now it's like $1 million is like peanuts. It's crazy.
I actually went on I forget why I ended. Because I did a search for something about myself. Fuck, I forget what it was. Because somebody said, did you see this thing? Somebody wrote this about you, or I don't know. I forget what. But anyway, when I put there, I did Derek Seguin, and then it was like, people also search for Derek Seguin wife, Derek Seguin net worth. So I started clicking on them, like, why are people searching for my wife? That's fucking weird. And then Derek Seguin net worth, and it was very incomplete. Like it was bare bones net worth, celebritynetworth.com. It was like my Wikipedia page have like whatever 100 word on it. I don't know who did it. But on the Wikipedia, my birth year is wrong. On Celebrity Net Worth, my birth year is right. but they don't know. It says month, birthday unknown or whatever. But
Yeah.
it said my net worth is $1 million. Yeah, I'm like,
I'm
fuck,
surprised
I wish.
when you did. I'm surprised when like you go to Derek Sage's net worth, it doesn't like one of those like boxes just pop up, and it's like you owe us $175,000.
Or one of those Equifax things.
Yeah.
They're like, check your credit score here.
Yeah. You now owe money for Derek Sege because you're trying to look up his net worth. If you see him, let us know.
If you
let
see him,
know.
he owes us money. Yeah.
Let him know he owes us this much money.
Clearly, if you're looking for that, he must owe you money. He owes us.
Yeah.
Get in line. Get in the line. Start back here.
That's all it says when you Google Derek Sege net worth. It just says get in line.
That's right. I shouldn't have talked about that life insurance policy. There's going to be injunctions from creditors trying to become benefactor of my life insurance policy.
Oh man, that's hilarious. I wonder if they could do that. Do you think that's a thing in Canada?
No,
I don't
no,
know. Man.
that's
Jesus.
when my dad passed. He owed money, but the life insurance settlement is untouchable by them, so I
Okay.
didn't have to pay his debts. But I did have to. I had to.
Like give out.
I had
whatever.
to renounce his estate
Yeah.
because it owed more money than it had. Like he had $100 in the bank, but he had $15,000 in debt.
Yeah.
Which, in retrospect, I wish I hadn't done. That was pretty. My mom consulted me, and I don't know. I was
Yeah.
a kid, right? I was 20, whatever, 26 or 27.
Yeah.
And
wow.
you're afraid of the law, and so in renouncing
Yeah.
his estate, I wasn't allowed to take any of his things, like a shoebox of letters, a photo album. I was technically not even allowed to do that, but I did. I snuck those out, but I was so scared, right? I'm like,
Right.
oh my God, I'm not even supposed to take anything. I'm supposed to just leave it all. And then I asked there's a civil servant position that's in charge of liquidating people's estates to try
Yeah.
to get money that's owed. And so I, went there, and they said, no, you have to file a letter. And so I requested, when you do the auction, I would love to come to the auction, maybe buy some of my dad's things, some
Yeah,
clothes or some
Yeah.
things that I would have liked to have of his.
Yeah, you don't want to
They
pay
didn't. They just-
15 grand for
They,
it. Yeah.
they just did it, and they said, when I saw that it was liquidated already, I'm like, what the fuck? I asked to be notified, and they're like, we did the due process. We put an ad in the newspaper
Oh, yeah.
saying liquidation of estate, and I'm like, well, I don't read the fucking
Yeah.
see the fucking Verdun
Yeah.
Eclair or whatever the fuck it is. See. And I was so upset, and it felt wrong to just leave my dad, like walk away from my dad's things, his car. Like, it would have been nice to have his car. His car had no brakes. The muffler was dead. It was a fucking 1988 Mercury Sable. And he died in 2000. So, I mean, it was,
Yeah.
but it would have been nice to have my dad's car,
Yeah.
see? And at auction, it probably sold for $400 or something like that. I would have.
If that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, it's a regret that I have. Like, I have one bag of his things, and that's it, and some pictures that I already had in my. Anyway, it was just so
Yeah,
that is a
it's
thing
tough.
though. But the life insurance become untouchable to creditors. So
Yeah, it's tough when you're young too, man, when you're that age.
yeah, and I'm trusting people that are advising me, like my mom
Yeah.
was saying, it's not worth it, and now I guess she never calculated that simple, stupid things would have meant something to me, like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
And now I also know that those people don't give a shit. If I would have left with his washer dryer, it's
Right.
that much less shit for their guys to load into a truck. See,
Yeah.
he had nothing that was valuable. Like I literally could have taken anything I wanted, and no one would care.
Yeah.
But at the time, they said, they gave me the rule when I called I forget what they're called, the liquidator general, or I forget, but it's
Liquidator General.
a city. Yeah, it's a city official of some kind, and he was like reading a card saying, you may not touch anything of the estate, everything must be left in the estate, otherwise you're forsaking your renouncement of the. So I got scared. I'm like, this sounds very official, and so I didn't take anything.
Wow.
I took one thing. I gave it to Chad. Chad came to my dad's house with me to just to say
Yeah,
goodbye,
grab some
kind of.
stuff.
And he's like, oh, this is a cool radio. And I'm like, yeah, fucking take it. Just go put it in your car quick. No one, it's not like there was any inventory done.
Yeah.
But I was just afraid to walk out of there. People say, hey, yeah, we saw them walking out with boxes. I was afraid. I was just afraid. And in retrospect, now as an adult, I realized no one would have given a fuck.
Yeah.
Like they would have, I'm sure the people in that department would have rather I take all his clothes. And
right, yeah.
Things that
they're not
going to, no value
stuff, for
exactly.
money. They're just going to like put it in one giant container and auction the whole thing off, kind of, I guess.
Right.
They're not going to auction off each pair of pants or...
Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Life ain't easy. When you're getting to that point in life, when you got to deal with like a family member's death or something like that, it's fucking hard. And then you don't always make the best decisions, of course, because you're stressed in life and
stressed.
But I think you did the best you could, man. I wouldn't. I know you probably wish, but yeah, I think you handled it pretty well for the age you were and the things that you're going through. That's pretty crazy. And to make that decision too, especially you're making that call, like you're stressed out about your father and you got to make that call whether you want to pay or... That's a lot, man. It's a lot on someone's plate.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Life, buddy.
Life. It's so weird. I know. It's fucking weird.
Meanwhile, your kids are stealing all your stuff while you're podcasting.
Yeah.
You should actually tell them right now. Just start storing it all. Store it away.
Here's the thing. Anything that goes wrong in the house or goes missing, I always assume it's them. And then, and now the one time I lose my temper about it, oh shit, no, that was me. Sorry. So, but like, when it is them, do you think they apologize? No, they just pretend. That's the other thing. They do lie about it all the time. Like, what happened here? We don't know.
Well, they don't want to get in shit, man.
Another mystery, see?
And sometimes they probably just grabbed it. They're probably like, yeah, I'm going to go listen to some music. I can't find my thing. Let me just grab Dad's for now. And then they didn't mean to. And then Dad's
things get
furious.
broken, though. Like, I'll go away for a day or two and come back and things are broken. Or like the freezer Andy left the freezer open all night, so everything thawed out in the freezer.
Oh God!
But she'll be like, "No, that wasn't me. That was I don't know what happened." It's always no one knows anything. Things get broken and fucking. But this time, and I don't always lose my temper. I just roll my eyes. But this time I lost my temper, and it turns out I was wrong about I jumped the gun with the blame game.
Well. What are you going to do, buddy? It's okay. He'll get over it.
And again, I feel like people are going to worry. Lose my temper just means I was like throwing out a lot of tabarnak and I punched the fucking the pantry. But I didn't hit anybody. Reese didn't get hurt. I was just like, this is bullshit. I'm sick of this. That kind of thing. And then I went and apologized, which I shouldn't have. I know now. I shouldn't have, but that's just my generation of parents. We have to apologize to our children and tell them how proud you are of it. And like Jamie was telling me the other day, this is how influenceable I am by my own children. I always tell my children, any fucking minuscule little achievement that they have, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. That's so good. You could be anything you want. All that kind of stuff that, our generation of parents do. Yeah. But Jamie was saying that she was listening to something or reading something that instead of saying I'm proud of you or what psychologists have found, instead of saying I'm proud of you, saying you must be very proud of yourself. That is very good. You must really be feeling good about yourself right now, because that's the thing. It's like
reinforce their own feelings.
Self-worth doesn't come from other people. Like Angela often will say, treat yourself, because she struggled with a little bit of self-esteem and thing like that. So she often will read about how to fix that.
Yeah.
Good for her. She's on
feel better about yourself.
Thing. But yeah, treat yourself. So the basic message is treat yourself how you would treat your best friend.
Right.
So like if you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, I look ugly today or I look fat today.
Yeah.
If your best friend said that, I mean, this is a chick example, but I wouldn't do that. Like if you look,
you always tell me I look like shit anyways.
Yeah, that's it. The guy, I'm like, that you're giving me a girl example, because girl, like if your girl's best friend would be like, oh my God, I look so fat today. The girl will automatically be like, are you crazy? You're beautiful. You look so beautiful today. Dudes are like that. Glowing. That dude would look in the mirror and be like, oh, I look ugly today, and I'd be like, yeah, you're fucking ugly. You douchebag. Fucking punch you in the shoulder. That's how we. But the example is still good. If you were in a real crisis, I would be there for you.
Yeah.
But when we're in a crisis, we just shit on ourselves more, and it's a good message.
It's weird. It's weird. It is interesting. Sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
It's just weird that I'm taking parenting advice from my children. It's like, well, what the fuck?
That's funny.
What have I become? See?
That's
So
funny.
now I actually found myself doing it. Reese,
Yeah.
Reese did a math quiz, whatever, and he did it. He said, I think I did pretty good. And he's like, and I was, Jamie was in my head. And I'm like, well, you must be very proud of yourself. That's very good. Your work has been paying off. You must feel really good. You should feel really good about yourself, son. I'm proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. And I'm putting Jamie, anyway.
Was he
I'm
just
just
like,
doing my best, everybody. I'll
Dad,
just say,
what-
yes,
what
I
happened to you?
I lost my temper in front of my 20-year-old son and then apologize for it because it wasn't his fault. But if it was his fault, I should stick to it. And there should be more. I haven't given my children enough consequences in their life, I feel. And
No.
that's why this generation is so mumun. You know what I mean? It's a fucking mumun.
we were talking about that the other day. Because I was thinking about how the world is today and how we are very like, you got to be nice and all this stuff. And I feel like it's because everyone goes to therapy a lot now. Like therapy's a thing, like it's common practice for people now. Like everybody goes to therapy almost. It feels like our generation has, and it feels like other generations didn't go to therapy. It was like taboo to go to therapy.
Right.
And now we're kind of like introducing the way that therapy works, where like like therapy, a big thing with therapy is like, tell me how it makes you feel. Not like I'm fucking, like what you did pissed me off. It's like, no, don't say what they did piss you off. Tell
Right.
them that it didn't make you feel good.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like, I don't even know
It's
how to
all-
go about that because I'm like, I feel like what you did pissed me off is what I really want to say. But it's like the world nowadays is kind of like, we're implementing that into our lifestyle today. And the world is a dog-eat-dog place. Like, it's nice
Yeah.
if we're going to make Canada and America a little bubble, and like Europe, we're going to have this little bubble of being nice, but the rest of the world isn't living like that. So you will get eaten alive when you get out of, your bubble of being comforted all the time. So
Yeah.
you kind of need some of that you need that to make you rough around the edges and be able to, put a shoulder out in case someone's coming at you. You need to
It's
have
almost,
a little bit.
Yeah. The progress humanity has made
But
us
that's, yeah.
more less able to cope with real things.
Yes. Everyone
When
has
we were
anxiety
everyone
now.
had to work the earth and grow their own food and raise their own
Yeah.
meat, and see, there was no time to think about suicide or those that hurt my feelings, and
Right.
we were too busy trying to just stay alive.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's like you
today
read the
we've
yeah.
become soft.
We've become very soft, but I think it's because we go to therapy more and we're implementing. We should talk to each other like that. I don't think that's a bad thing to like be nicer to each other, but also
me neither.
understand that when you just meet a complete stranger on the street, they might not talk to you very nice. So
Yeah.
it might kill you if you've never had to deal with a shitty person.
And often therapy will validate those feelings. Like, that hurt my feelings. Well, that is reasonable. Poor you.
Yeah, I don't I get it. I think it's a good thing to practice between your friends and being nice to people, but also be weary because the world is a shitty place. It could get dark and it could be dangerous. And man, we were watching things about, there's some pretty good documentaries on Netflix, and there's LA, they were showing LA and that, and we were talking about how when you're in LA, the difference, you're not worried here. You go walk on the street, you're not worried. But you can be
Right.
anywhere in LA, man, and there's a car, just someone's hammered or on pills, and they just come flying off the street and wipe you out on the sidewalk, or someone's off their meds and they're just roaming the streets, and there's homeless and there's gangs and
Well,
there's so many crazy things.
The whole world is candy.
Yeah.
There was a drive-by shooting in Montreal last week. Where
Yeah,
a
there was.
15-year-old
Yeah.
girl got shot. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, Montreal's not doing good, and I don't want to get dark, but yeah, it seems like it's a trend in this country when the real estate prices start flying off the shelf. They start going crazy. It seems like there's a lot of gang violence that starts to follow.
Well, yeah, I feel humanity is getting more and more self-absorbed. The individual is more, and so I think if there's a message that I'm feeling, even down to bringing it back to the Elon Musk conversation and stuff,
Yeah.
we all need to be more mindful of others. If we truly spend more time thinking about other people and other people's feelings and treat them as we would ourselves. So that one of these Bible messages, like we're not very Bible-y people, but that's one Bible message. Treat other people as you would want to be treated, not necessarily how you are treated, because often that's so much the human reaction instinct now.
Yeah.
Is that somebody was mean to me, so I'm going to be fucking mean to somebody else,
Yeah.
not even necessarily the person that treated you like shit. You just adapt what you hate about one person. You somehow, humanity seems to be adapting that as their own personality type, like fucking be bitchy because somebody was bitchy to me when I was 5 or whatever. I'm going to be so I think, yeah, if the message behind the Bacon No Bacon podcast this week, brought to you by the Comedy Here
Comedy
Often
Here
Network,
Often,
is be nice. Be as nice as we can. Again, I
this
worry
asshole
about
over here trying
I
to tell us
got
to be
a
nice.
negative comment on one of my YouTube things, and I had to.
Oh, yeah?
I couldn't help it. I read it. I had 80. There was something like 80 positive comments, one negative comment, and over the 3 years that it's been online. And I came back to it an hour later. I'm like, you know what? And then I deleted that and wrote something more tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic. Because it was something like classless. I can't believe that they've hired this guy to be the show for a children's hospital fundraiser. It's classless, or just really shitty.
Wow, really?
And I was like,
I got to stop writing those messages.
yeah, thanks. But anyway, and I responded sarcastically and shared it, and people were, and then I felt like this sounded like a total call for compliments, and I'm like, oh, that's not why I did it. I was just annoyed. But we have to see more, take in the positive, let the negative wash off our backs like water off a dog's back, and be kind. Just be kind when we can. Don't take the unkindness of one person and let it ruin our day and make us therefore be in a bad mood and therefore more prone to being unkind. We should really be more kind, and I starting with myself, like again, losing my temper earlier.
What are you, fucking Mr. Rogers all of a sudden?
Upsetting my son. See, sometimes I'm not as nice to Angela as I could be because, you know, whatever, she does one thing that get on my nerves, and then I'm put off for like 3 days.
This must be
could
part
be
of the
more kind to
midlife
her.
crisis.
Yeah, I might be in something.
This is where you start apologizing for all the things
But is
you've
it
done.
a crisis though, or is it a rebirth? See, like I'm always worried. I've been so worried. Pay off the house, pay my bills. See, there's no money coming in. That gets me stressed. Therefore, makes me more irritable.
Yeah.
Fuck it all. You know what I mean? I want. And David Pride. I drove to Toronto with David Pride. So we
That's
had
why
6
you're
hours,
in good spirits. David Pride, man.
6 hours there, 6 hours
Good
back.
dude.
You know how it is. You and I have the benefit of talking to each other at least once a week, but it's for the benefit of other people. So we talk to each other a little differently than we would driving in the car to Sudbury, for instance.
Right.
Camaraderie with a comedian, it's great in that we could say anything, and we're often, you know, especially like Dave Pride. I've known Dave Pride for 30 years.
Yeah.
So it was a good talk, but he's an intelligent guy, so he was talking about a book that, you know, be wary of what you want or what you think you want, because often it's not actually what you wanted, and both were sharing examples. So right now I feel like I want a house in the bush with water, and
Do it, buddy.
But he's like, do you though? Because now I'm thinking about it. I
Right.
have a house now that I
Right.
can't keep up with the maintenance. For 6 months now, I've been laboring over. I want to redo the bathroom, and every time I go to start the project, I'm like, oh, I don't have enough money, and it's going to be this. Where do I start? I don't, you know, am I taking on too much? And if I hire somebody, I for sure can't afford it.
Yeah.
But if I do it myself, I could fuck it up, and then, you know, end up halfway through and realize I don't have the money. It's a lot of it's money, fear of lacking money, and for my, you know, as a parent, you fear. Not just for yourself, but for the kid. And what am I leaving the kid? Like the life insurance thing. Say I'm always. But when it come down to it, I've made it through a year almost of pandemic, making very little money, and yet look, I still have food. I bought a freezer.
Yeah, look at all that fucking
I have more
KD.
food than I had before. So
No, I know what you mean, buddy.
when it come to the cottage,
Yeah.
you know, I might buy it and then discover this isn't what I wanted at all. This has doubled my level of stress about home maintenance.
Well,
I have 2 homes now to maintain.
I think the important thing is to know that if you would go to a cottage, it's to downsize, like to not have more of a bigger house, a smaller house, more of the outdoors is what you're going to enjoy, as opposed to living in the city.
Right.
The taxes you're paying higher taxes, you know, all that stuff that comes with living where you live. It's a lot cheaper to live in a smaller place.
Right. And improving
think
this
that's what-
place,
Yeah.
improving this house,
Yeah.
I look at it more like an investment because, like I said, my kids don't want to go to I can't sell this house
Yeah.
to go live in the country. They don't want that. And I'm a suck of my generation of parent that will be manipulated by our kid. And they're like, oh, whatever you want then. So my plan right now is to keep this place.
Yeah.
Plus, this place is increasing in value. This is a good investment. It's really the only thing I have. If I ever I'm going to retire, if I do live to old age, this place will be the equity that allows me to continue living.
Chip
I will
reverse
eventually
mortgage,
sell
my
it.
friend. Let me talk to you about the chip reverse mortgage, Derek.
Yeah.
We should.
But the plan right now for Emily and Derek that sent us that's perfect property because I could have enough equity in this house to borrow it out of this house and buy that place outright and then continue paying a mortgage here. Meanwhile, this place continue to hopefully build more equity than the mortgage payment, the interest on the mortgage for it.
Yeah.
So eventually I'll own this place, the cottage. I'll own the cottage outright. And this place, in 5 years will be worth, close to $1 million. So sell it, have $1 million, go live there.
Yeah.
But maybe after owning that for 2 years, I've been there twice over 2 years. I get there, there's squirrels living inside this tea, and maybe who knows. David brought up a good point that what we think we want is often not what we actually will make us happy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Something to think about. Like
I
I used to think, the example I gave him, I used to think I want to have my own sitcom or be the star of my own film.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I'm like, I don't think I want that. I do really well at the level I am now, basically unknown except to, diehard Canadian comedy fans.
Yeah.
Like I can go to the grocery store, no one knows who I don't know if I could deal with that kind of fame.
Right.
You see so many people deal with fame badly. It makes them fucking yeet.
Yeah.
So as I've gotten older, I'm like my goals, my fantasies have become much more modest. Like there was a time Angela and I broke up about 6 years ago for a year or for 6 months or something. And I was like, I need to clear my head. And maybe that was my midlife crisis because I'm like, I need to just get away. And I'm going to...
I think you go through multiple.
Yeah, I have a crisis every 2 or 3 months. But I bought a ticket to go to Cuba, and I'm going to sit on the beach, and I'm going to write a whole film, or I'm going to write a book or whatever. And in my mind, when I'm saying this is what I want to do, and I was visualizing this thing that doesn't fit my personality. In my mind, I was visualizing myself sitting in a cafe in Havana in a linen suit and a fedora, writing my memoirs while sipping expensive tequila and smoking a cigar. And then I get to Cuba. Turns out I'm fucking borderline agoraphobic when I'm alone. I'm like super anxious, social anxiety au bout. I barely left my hotel room for the first 3 days I was there because I was shy and I'm by myself. What a loser, So it was eye-opening.
Yeah, but you know what?
You
wouldn't have known if you didn't try, though.
I suppose.
That's the other side of the coin, is that
it was a terrible trip, but I did learn a lot about myself.
If you're always questioning the fact that, like, I don't know, maybe this isn't exactly what I really wanted, nobody knows what they really want. You kind of just go through trying, and then things that work out and they stick and you enjoy it, they stick, and then you keep going.
Yeah.
So you don't. I mean, there's two sides of it. You could look at it as that too, like what David's saying. I understand. But then again, if you're always thinking, second guessing yourself and going, well, maybe it's not what I want, then you'll never try anything different.
Yeah.
You got to try
different. Once that's the other key to it is learn. Like keep your mind
open
to learn about
fucking
yourself.
Learn, yeah. Also, learn from your mistakes. That's a big one. Yeah. People don't. Anyways, buddy, are we getting deeper? Do you want to get deep?
No, we're good. I think we hit the hour. I think we're insufferable enough as it is. We're not going to start doing the 3-hour Joe Rogan experience.
We could get deep.
But,
all right, buddy. Well, this is fun.
We're going to start guests. I think we need to start including guests in this process.
Yeah.
People, yeah.
You're going to have a fun time?
Take us on a different angle, let's try it.
Yeah, sure.
Figure out the technology first, but certainly it would be much easier if we had a budget, and then if we could be together, and then just have one person be able to hire a switcher, say a director, to be able to go camera 1, Abdul, camera 2, Derek.
Man,
camera
I wish
3, guest.
it sounds like a
wide shot, so like a 4-camera setup. but we're not there yet. But maybe
Maybe
a
we-
call in.
listen,
maybe just
buddy.
an audio guest. See?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Me and you like this, but there's a audio component, like a
Well,
radio show or a call in. Fox and Friends.
Talk to the people at Chip Reverse Mortgage and see if they want to sponsor us.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe they can kind of send. All right, buddy. Good chat.
Good chat. Oh, I'm doing my show tonight. This isn't. Are we doing this today? Are we putting it out today?
Probably tomorrow.
All right, but there you go.
Later
It'll be too late.
or tonight.
But,
It'll probably come out.
but I'm happy to
I
say
won't put it out at the
Panderic
same
Volume
time.
8. Panderic Volume 8. We're coming up on. I think we're at about 300 people.
That's
300
awesome, man.
people are going to be tuning in. It's done well.
There no way to watch it after? Like, would you keep it on if people want to buy it and watch the show after?
Yeah, it stays on YouTube, and you can get the link by buying it online. But if you just send me an email if you're interested in seeing the show, I'll send it to you for free because
There
you're
you
a
go.
podcast listener. I'll
Podcast
just let
listener.
you watch it. Unless it's terrible. If I don't let you watch it, it means I fucking shit the bed and it was awful.
It's a horrible show.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be great. As always, you're a funny guy. You're good. Enjoy it. Have a good time.
Thanks,
And,
buddy.
We'll see you next week, buddy. We'll chat it up.
Keep our spirits up, everybody. I'm sure we're going to get through this COVID thing in 2021.
I'm sure. I like how you're
sure.
you leave
I mean,
a little bit of,
Changing
sure
for the
we
better.
will.
I think we may not be completely
we're all
out of
fucked.
it.
But I'm
But I
sure
think
we'll get out of it.
Things will start to ease up a bit. The restriction, I think, will ease up, and we're gonna be on the road to
No,
recovery.
it's going to
But
stay
we've
like
said
this
before,
forever, and you're all going to have to watch Bacon No Bacon for the rest of your lives. This is all you're
But
getting.
like we've said, the world will be forever different now. I think like there's definitely going to be people that will be wearing masks for the rest of their days now. So, but I feel like it's going to ease up. Keep your spirits up.
Yeah.
Continue to be diligent.
Summer's
follow the
almost
measures.
here.
Follow the measures and be nice to each other. Be nice to each other above all else. Even people that are, a fucking guy won't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Just let's all be nice to each other. We're all just trying to make it through this little.
Good point,
journey.
buddy. Go fuck yourself. Have a good day.
Cheers. See you, everybody.
Later, man.